How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So on this video, I'm going to be going over some of the common issues on the 2017 to 2022 Honda CRV. Now, some of you people might not have this issue at all, but most people watching this video most likely will encounter at least a few of these. And this will be beneficial to anybody who currently has a car or is considering buying one or buying their lease out, buying a used one, whatever the case may be. Now, just because I'm naming some of these issues doesn't mean there are more issues. There are more issues, or some of you might not have any issues at all, but chances are if you're watching this video, you have one of these cars and you will at least encounter one or two of these issues. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we notice is a lot of AC compressors leaking. Honda says that's normal, but anytime there's a leak, obviously Freon is leaking out, and that will prevent the AC from working efficiently, and or maybe not at all. So that's one of the issues. Once you're out of warranty, you're on your own, and you have to address that on your own. Second issue is this AC pressure switch right in here. Try to get my hand in there. So this wire right in there, you see with the big loop, that tends to break over time, and it's just a bad design. I'm not sure why that's even a loop like that, but you can repair this. You don't have to replace the whole harness. And I cut that zip tie that's holding it up against the radiator support and eliminate that loop, and normally that fixes it, and I have no issues down the road. So that would cause sometimes a check engine light, obviously AC pressure switch code, and your AC to not work at all. So these cars initially came with the 2.4 and the 1.5. After 2018 or 2019, I forget what year it was, they switched over to all the 1.5. So that is the most common engine, and this is the engine pictured right here. You have the turbo, you have this airbox resonator. So a lot of these cars have two different issues that I'm going to go over with, and they're very common. First is injector failure. This happens to most people using cheaper fuel or lower grade fuel, so like an 87 versus 91 or 93, and so the injectors start to carbon up and start to misfire. It's tying in with that, that same low octane fuel causes a lot of detonation in the fuel, and eventually these cars tend to blow the head gasket. Not as common as the Accords, but I've done 2 or 3 on these already. As a shop or a dealer, we've done probably 6 or 7. So that's definitely something we're starting to see trend up, and something you want to consider. Once you're out of warranty, both these items are fairly expensive. Obviously, the head gasket would be more expensive, and they usually fell between 40 to 70,000 miles in that range. The injectors is usually early on between 20, 30,000 miles or something like that. If you're past that point, you are probably okay at that point. So another thing we're seeing is, not all the time, mostly this is the Accords and the Civics once again, but we do see something on this, and we see rodent damage, and sometimes it's some of the injector harness over here, sometimes it's the coil, and a lot of times it's actually on the EPS wiring right down in here. And again, that's easily repairable, and you apply some rodent tape and you move on with your life. You lose steering, so obviously the car wouldn't be driving up at that point, but if you do lose steering, that's something you want to look at. And the EPS is right in here with the wiring right in this area. The other side they chew on is they come up in here and they chew on the injector or the coil connector. So that's definitely something you want to consider. That's not going to be a deal breaker in my opinion, but it is something that could cause some headaches for you, and obviously unexpected repair. So that's basically the gist of it, guys. The car, other than that, is fairly reliable, but once again, if you're buying this car, that's something you want to consider into your price negotiation, or your determining factor down the road. The number one thing to look out for, in my personal opinion, is the head gasket. That's obviously the most expensive repair, and simply, if your coolant reservoir over here is low, chances are the beginning of the end for that head gasket are present. And if you have a cold start misfire, that only confirms that even more. So you drive the car, you let it sit overnight, next morning you have a cold start misfire, that's 99 out of 100 times going to be a head gasket failure. So just something, again, for you to look out and consider when making your purchases. So I'm going to wrap it up with this video, guys. I have other videos just like this on the other trims, and as they come out, I'll be making more videos. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.